Today, I'm going to share Monday May's carnivore story with you. Hi, Dave. I wanted to share my story in case it helps someone who's struggling like I was. For decades, since my early teens, I battled IBSD and panic attacks so severe that they made me agoraphobic. My life revolved around bathrooms and fear. Late one night, I saw an infomercial featuring Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who is a vegan doctor and former professional ice figure skater promoting a low starch, high greens diet. His signature approach centered around eating 2 pounds of leafy greens a day with a giant salad as the main course. It sounded promising and delicious because I love salads. So I bought his book, joined his paid membership message board, and dove in. What followed was explosive green water pouring out of my shitter, as my grandpa calls it. Haha. It wasn't even diarrhea, it was water. And I soiled myself for the first time in my life because what I thought was a fart was green water. But I stuck with the diet and just made sure to never trust a fart and to always be steps away from a toilet. The pre existing IBS got much worse, and I also developed hemorrhoids and bleeding for the first time in my life. Lots of bad first times in my life happened to me on the vegan diet. Dr. Furman's message board insisted that all that green water pouring out of me was a good sign. It was healthy and cleansing because my body was purging all the toxins it had accumulated from the meat and fat that I'd eaten before going vegan. I believed them and held on longer than I should have. Eventually, still believing that meat and animal fat is bad and causes heart attacks and cancer, I switched to Dr. McDougall's starch-based vegan diet. Every meal, 3 meals a day, 3/4 of my plate consisted of potatoes and quarter with green and yellow vegetables and a bit of fruit. No added fats, not even nuts. It helped a little. No more explosive green water coming out of my ass. But I felt awful. Constant indigestion, bloating, and huge, frequent bowel movements. I always felt stuffed eating all those potatoes, but always hungry. The Dr. McDougall community told me that the massive poops multiple times a day were healthy because this is how healthy humans should poop. Each poop should be the size of your head, and you should poop at least as many times a day as you eat. So I spent half my life on the toilet and a small fortune on toilet paper and baby wipes. Then a couple of years ago, I tried the carnivore diet. Within days, all my IBS symptoms vanished. I went from 4 to 5 really messy, massive dinosaur poops a day to one clean, uneventful, normal, human-sized poop every 2 to 3 days. No diarrhea, no constipation, no pain, no urgency, no toilet paper marathon. It was life-changing. Suddenly, I had more time for other things in life besides pooping, and more money for other things besides toilet paper. But I didn't feel great overall. Long after the adaptation phase, I still felt bleh. No energy surge or euphoria that people on carnivore talk about experiencing. My panic attacks and sleep actually got worse. Still, I stuck with strict carnivore for a full year, hoping it would heal everything, like so many people in the carnivore community told me it would if I stuck with it long enough. It didn't. What it did do, though, was heal my gut. That alone was worth it. I can now eat anything without triggering IBS. Unlike some people on the carnivore diet, my symptoms did not come back once I started reintroducing plants. I discovered I'm not lactose intolerant like doctors told me I was. I digest dairy just fine. I'm also not gluten sensitive either, like I was told I was, as long as it's white bread or white pasta. Whole grains were the problem. They feel like nails on a chalkboard in my gut. But white processed flour is fine, no issues whatsoever. Carnivore also taught me that it wasn't plants themselves that were hurting me. It was the sheer volume that I was eating on a daily basis that was the problem. I explain it like this to people who ask. I'm not an alcoholic, so I can enjoy a small glass of wine with dinner if I want, and it won't harm my liver, nor will I end up getting drunk. But if I drank a bottle or three of wine a day, I would become an alcoholic and destroy my liver. The dose makes the poison. I always ate a lot of vegetables and fruit, and I was obviously overdoing it like the alcoholic overdoes it with drinking. See, I thought because vegetables and fruit are good for us, and we're supposed to eat the rainbow and a large variety of them, the more I'd eat, the better it was. So I would eat a little bit of meat and a whole lot of vegetables and fruit, and I mean a lot. I was what the vegan community calls a volume eater long before I was vegan. So my plate always had a mountain of vegetables piled high on it, even when there was meat on it too. But that little piece of meat was buried under all the veg. I found out through trial and error that I needed to flip that around. Now I have a pile of meat on my plate and I treat vegetables as favorable side dishes or garnish, and a piece of fruit as dessert. My body handles this combination of lots of meat and a little veg and fruit cheerfully now that my gut has healed. When I get tempted to pile the salad on, I remind myself that the dose makes the poison, and I'm able to moderate and be happy with just a little. And if I may, I want to gently and respectfully push back on something I've heard from many well known and highly respected carnivore voices like Dr. Anthony Chaffee, who says vegetables are trying to kill you and compares the damage he says eating a little bit does to your body to the damage eating a little bit of heroin does. He famously says things like, would a little bit of heroin be healthy? Look, I understand that for some people with severely and irreversibly damaged metabolic systems, plants might generally be like poison for their body, but that's not true for all of us. I'm proof of that. Once my gut was healed, I could tolerate a wide variety of foods again, including vegetables and fruits, and even grains, as long as they were not the healthy whole grains, and as long as I kept the portions small. In fact, I started a lot better once I added a small amount back in. My energy and sleep, which had plummeted on the strict carnivore diet, significantly improved once I added a small amount of plants back in. The dose really does make the poison, at least for me it does. I've learned that if a food doesn't give me digestive issues, it won't cause other issues for me either. My gut speaks to me. It lets me know if it's happy with what I'm giving it or not. I've also noticed that when my gut is happy, my brain is also happy, which means my mental health is good. And if my brain and gut are both happy and healthy, the rest of my body is happy and healthy too. For anyone wondering, fruit does not spike my blood sugar when I eat a fruit as part of my meal. After I've eaten the meat and the fat first, which is why I save fruit for dessert. I only get a high spike if I eat the fruit first, or on an empty stomach. These days, I eat about 75% carnivore, which consists mostly of beef and butter, and 25% whatever else I want. Mostly vegetables and fruit with the occasional small serving of white bread or pasta. I even enjoy the odd slice of pizza once in a while, but limit it to just one. Like I said, my energy, sleep, and mood have all improved eating this meat-heavy, but not exclusively meat diet. IBS never came back. Panic attacks still happen, but they're far less frequent and far less severe than they were on either extreme diet. Ironically, I first heard about the carnivore diet from the vegan community who were mocking it and saying how incredibly dangerous and stupid it was. For me, strict carnivore wasn't the miracle fix everything solution that it is for some people, but it gave me the tools to understand what was making me sick and what my body needs and doesn't need, and in what amounts, so I can be as healthy as possible and feel my best. While I'm no longer a strict carnivore, because by listening to my body and through trial and error, I discovered I didn't need to be, and that I actually feel better with a bit of carbs in my diet. The 1 year of strict carnivore healed my gut, and it stayed healed even after I reintroduced plants in the right amounts. That vegan carnivore journey led me to the way of eating that's perfect for my body. I'm not saying everyone else has to add carbs back in. I'm just sharing my journey and why how I'm eating now works best for me. I'm deeply grateful to the carnivore community and to you personally, Dave, for letting me share my story. My story may not be the classic carnivore success story, but it's a success for me because I have my health and my life back, and I can sleep at night. Yay! If people have questions for me, they can post them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them here. Warmly, Monday May. Please join me in congratulating Monday May. And if you want to discover how we got so sick in the first place, check out this video next.